We'll make it live and that's
It's
it.
live.
It's on. It's on. Okay, so this is the meeting of the April 10th meeting of the COA EHS. We are live, so we have to follow the open meeting rules. I won't bother going over them because I think we all know what they are, but we still have to be careful. So, first thing on the agenda is let's look at the minutes. And for Lorelei, Sue Melander is out today, and Marge is out. And Marge is out today.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So the first order of business will be the minutes. No, I guess it's going to be announcements instead. So we'll start over with Marilyn. Do you have any announcements to make? You don't have any either? How about you?
You talking to me?
Yeah, you do, right?
I do, yeah. I just wanted to reiterate that the little pantry at the Baptist Church on the Common has lots of food, and if you're in need, please stop by and pick up whatever you need. And also, if you have a contribution, we don't object to you dropping something off and just put it in the pantry. And then also on Saturday, April 22nd, we will be restarting at the Baptist Church our Memory Cafe for those who have changes in their memory patterns. It's either slight or big, we don't care. We come time for a time of fellowship, and we have some refreshments and program, and everybody's welcome. That's from 10 to noon.
That's very good. It's good that that's starting up again, because that was very good.
Yeah.
Way back before the pandemic. That was
Right, we're excited.
Yeah, that's great. Does anybody else have
I'm all set.
announcements?
What's that?
All set? I don't know if this is an announcement or not, but I would just like to thank everybody, all of the seniors who came to the COA office last week and stuffed Easter eggs for the kids. It's nice to see that the elderly and the children work together, and I guess there was 5,000 or 6,000 eggs that had to be stuffed with candy, and so just recognizing seniors for them helping.
Yep, it was fun.
It was fun. We had a good time. Now, we can talk about the minutes. Can I have a vote to accept the minutes?
I'll move to accept the minutes.
You do. So that would be Marilyn,
Second?
Ann Lee second. All in favor, we still have to do a roll call. So Marilyn,
Yes.
Jean,
Yes.
Ann Lee,
Yes.
David,
Yep.
Joe,
Yes.
and Anita, and Lorelei.
Yes.
Okay, that's unanimous. Thank you. And now we're up to the Friends report. Good afternoon, Sandra.
Good afternoon. I wanted to report that the Friends now have a website. The only problem is, we're having difficulty publishing it. I can share it with any of you, but we're having trouble with the publishing piece. The links are all working except the link to the town site.
Oh,
So I was just emailing with the instructor at the school, because I've been working with Tiger Tech, and we thought we'd linked everything. We'd linked to the email, we'd linked to the Facebook page, we thought we'd linked to the town. But when Nicole, we were just talking to, she tested it, it didn't work.
okay,
So we're still working on that piece of it, but we haven't given up yet. So
okay,
we're making progress.
very good.
Thank you.
Okay, so the director's report. So Liz, you're up.
All right. Okay, so first on my list,
circling back to the bunny breakfast, there were lots of seniors who came and helped stuff the eggs, about 6,000 of them, but there were some people who volunteered some extra time, like Mr. Knox here, and Sandra Cassell, Charlie DeStefano, Andy Fredette really went above and beyond on Saturday morning and helped serve food, clean tables, pick up, refill drinks. They really put in a lot of hours of hard work this past Saturday morning. So I just wanted to publicly thank you all for all of that work you did. I couldn't quite remember if I mentioned this last time, but the Friends did give a donation of $675 to pay for the breakfast, the men's and women's breakfast. That's really exciting. Working with the town right now to set up a gift account to deposit that into. So now from here until December, the men's and women's breakfast will no longer be $3. It will be free. And in December, we will reevaluate. So thank you to the Friends for doing that for us.
Wow, thank you, friends. Thank you.
And last on my list for a point of discussion was in regards to the newsletter. So I gave a newsletter to everyone. This is published through LPI, Liturgical Publications, and we don't pay for this at all. This is printed and printed in color solely through the advertisers who advertise in this newsletter. If you flip through, you might see a couple blank spaces, and we're always looking for new advertisers to be in this publication. We print off 1,100 of these, 700 about get mailed directly to people's homes, and the others get dropped off in various places throughout the town. So we do have an ad representative through LPI who works year-round to secure new advertisers for the newsletter. And she asked me to bring it up to the board, what we thought about having cannabis companies advertise in our newsletter. We have some local companies here in town. It's legal in Massachusetts, and she gave me a list of other towns who do permit it and who are getting ads from companies who sell cannabis. And that's North Andover, Salem, Amesbury, Merrimack, Needham, Marshfield, Dracut, Ipswich, Swampscott, Hanover, Kingston, Marshfield, Attleboro, Taunton, Fairhaven, Marion, and Ashunet. Don't know how to say that one. Acushnet.
Acushnet.
Acushnet. Okay, I'm clearly not familiar with that town. But those are all in her kind of territory that do allow this. I ran it by town administration. He asked me to run it by the COA board to get an idea of where the board stands on this. The ad rep is not going to make any moves until she gets the okay from us. She thinks they would be interested, they would advertise in here. Of course, it would be tasteful, and we would have the final say over whatever the ad might look like. So I just wanted to put it out for discussion and kind of see what the appetite for this was.
Do you know how many companies there are?
In Littleton?
I
Is it
think there's 5 or 6.
5 or
I was
6?
gonna say
Well,
3.
there's the one on Taylor Street, that's the manufacturer.
Yeah, but that doesn't matter whether it's a
I know,
manufacturer
but I
or
don't
not.
know if that would be, she would include them, is that? I think there's too many in town to start with, but that's my opinion.
I'm sure there's gonna be lots of opinions, but what do we
Yeah.
think about having them
All right, and the funds gained from advertising go where?
to the cost of paper, printing, ink? We have 12 pages because we have a lot of advertisers. Towns who do not have a lot of advertisers get less pages and black and white, or one solid color. You can see the largest ads are these right here,
Yeah.
and they could be as small as this little white square.
And one of the
depending on how
things,
much.
one of the things that has happened is one of our advertisers has pulled out,
Yes.
which leaves us, I don't think it hurts us financially yet, but it could, because they were given money every month, and now they've pulled out. So, we have to think about filling that slot.
Do you happen to have any idea what the budget is monthly for that? Just curious.
I don't, not off the top of my head.
So when she mentions that one drops out, I mean, was that like half of the budget or?
I wouldn't say it was half, but we do have some blank spots in here.
Because there's a lot
I
of
see
people that
dirigible in
advertise.
here.
What?
I don't see dirigible in here.
The brewery? Okay, I can pose that to them, yeah.
I don't see a problem with it.
I don't see a
They are
problem.
legal businesses in our town. They have health benefits to people. And we serve all people in this town. And if they're a legal business and they want to help our magazine, I don't have a problem with that.
And I think you'd be surprised to see how many seniors are actually using cannabis or CBD. You know, I use it on a regular basis, CBD, and it works for me, and I know a lot of seniors I've talked to are using it, so I don't think there would be an objection.
No.
If there's no objection from the town administration that we can do this, it is a business in town, and no problem.
Just as a brewery.
Yeah, the brewery as well.
I definitely, that place is packed.
The brewery is,
Yeah, especially, I've only been in it once, and that was to buy a gift certificate. But I understand last Saturday night, we couldn't get in. It was at its quota.
wow, that's great.
I know.
Good.
I mean, I don't drink beer, so I wouldn't go, but
So I think we should probably, anybody else have any comments? Joe?
I'm fully behind it, because, I mean, you have the retail part of it, you have the manufacturing part of it, you have the testing part of it, so
Right.
those are all businesses that are legal, running, and maybe they would want to put an ad in, so I have no problem at all.
Right.
I don't have a problem. But I would suggest
I
you
think
also
it
see
would be good for-
dirigible.
It would be good for
Because that's the
them.
only brewery in
ads in
town,
here.
and it would be neat to see.
You know, and maybe later on, when we get to, the Friends get to the fundraising,
In fact,
I
I
think-
wrote down all the businesses that are in the broadcaster.
Yes.
mhm,
to approach.
That's right. And if you are a business in the broadcaster, say you're a funeral home and you advertise in here. If you advertise in here, you get first dibs on coming to do a program here, say on life estate planning. Or a lot of these advertisers also sponsor lunches and events, things like that. So there is a draw. They do have to pay for the ad, obviously, but there is a draw. You get first dibs on a captive audience who is always looking for something to do. So.
and it might be, you know, later on, if we get them in, is to have a program on CBD and let them come and talk about,
With free samples.
well, there you go. What are you saying, Sandra? Do you want a free sample?
Candy bars and brownies.
Just keep them out of the schools.
So I think it would be a good idea that we take a vote on that, since
Yeah.
town administration asked us what we thought. So I'll take a roll call vote as to whether we're going to allow,
Or we make a motion for this. You're just taking.
oh, I can't make the motion, you're right, you go
You
ahead.
want a motion?
Yeah, because that's right, I can't do that. Go ahead.
Well, I'll make a motion that we allow the town, or whatever the mechanism is, that we allow it to go forward so that we can place advertisements from cannabis companies in our broadcaster. How's that?
Can I have a second?
Second?
Okay, so all in favor, Marilyn,
Yes.
Jean,
Yes.
Ann Lee,
Yes.
David,
Yes.
Joe,
Yes.
Lorelei,
Yes.
and Anita is a yes. So it's unanimous.
Thank you. Should be pleased to hear that.
Since we're on the broadcaster, can I bring up, Ann Lee has a question that she
I have
brought
a
up today.
question.
So let's let Ann Lee speak.
I go to line dancing and the stretch and flex, and the instructors for those two classes, Rose and
Carrie.
Carrie's names
Carol.
aren't.
Carol is one.
Carol Wing and,
And
well, whatever,
her
you
name.
know what I.
Carrie,
Their-
too.
Carrie.
Yeah, their names aren't in here at all, and I went to go like on their website that they have, and I couldn't find it, and I was so new to the classes, I didn't know their names either.
Okay.
So I think like even on just
Yeah.
that calendar, weekly fitness classes, you could put
Their website,
line dancing by
yeah.
their name.
And then
It's like
put,
chair yoga
And
with
like Tai
Rebecca.
Yeah.
Chi, all of them.
yeah,
It's a matter of space and fitting it in, but I think I can make it work for the May.
because Carrie's always saying to us, go to my website and
Go
you
to
can.
my website, you can learn
see and
more.
learn more dance
Well,
steps,
Carol says the same thing all the
Right.
time.
so,
Go to my website and hear my music. So,
so that's a good idea to do that.
It's a tight squeeze, I'll tell you that, to fit in.
even
It
if
doesn't
you
have to be their, just their names.
even just their names as
Okay.
to who's
Yeah.
doing each one.
Great idea. Do that.
Okay. So we can now go on, we're still on the director's
Oh, yes.
report.
Last thing I wanted to mention that we did have our meet and greet event with Secretary Chen from Elder Affairs, and I thought it went really well. We were able to just have a discussion and walk through the floor plan of the new building, and I thought it went really well, and I think everyone should stay tuned and check out LCTV when her interview comes out with Barbara McRae on, I think it's Uncommon Interviews, or
Yeah.
Littleton Common,
And Mark said it'd be out in May.
in May.
Oh, okay.
So stay tuned for that. And that is it for my director's report.
Assistant director.
Hello.
Assistant Director Nicole.
Yes. So we have a few things coming up that I'm just going to go over, and then I have one other thing afterwards. So coming up this spring, summer, we have some trips. We have a trip next week to Webb's Yarn Store in Northampton. We have a few museum trips coming up, a trip to an art studio over in Acton, and 2 chances to go to Tower Hill this summer. Trying to do some outdoor activities as the weather gets nicer. Walking club continues every Wednesday. We're having picnic lunches this summer. Our yoga and meditation class with Jenny is starting up in May at Fay Park for the whole summer. It's a very popular class. We have some entertainment. We have live Elvis music. Todd Goodwin, who was here just a few months ago, is going to come back for campfire stories and songs. We have an author coming. We have a watercolor series with Littleton resident and artist Kimberly Stoney this summer. So that's going to be really
That'll be
exciting. Spring Fling is scheduled for the end of May. It's going to be dinner and dancing, live music from the California Dreamers. We have a photographer coming who's going to be offering mini photography sessions for 1 to 2 people, or for 1 person and a pet, as sort of a family keepsake. Rad just began again. Bingo is offering pizza lunch on the first Friday of every month. And Restaurant Hoppers, the Romeo, and the Juliet Breakfast Clubs are continuing, and they're continuing to grow each month. And we're going to be starting up the quarterly birthday parties with Sue again in June. So that's going to be exciting. I've been working on some intergenerational programming. Book Buddies is returning in May, so people might remember this from pre-pandemic. So I've been working with the Shaker Lane principal, Michelle Kane. We have 4 classrooms from kindergarten to 2nd grade who have given us certain time slots. So if you would like to pick a slot and read to a classroom, please call to sign up. I've also been working with the Russell Street School principal, Cheryl Temple. We're going to be having students from Russell Street join our walking club. So that'll be fun. You can get to chat with some of the students. The Littleton High School is bringing back their senior lunch this fall. It's going to be in October. Tiger Tech is continuing, and we're also planning a grandparents with grandchildren program with the library this summer. We're going to have animal adventures coming, so some of the stuff coming up.
Several people have come up to me and asked, what about taking a trip to Parker's?
Parker's Maple Barn, that's on the list.
Okay.
It's on the list.
Okay.
Stay tuned.
I had like 3 people asking me today about it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I did.
Yes, that's on the list as well. Yep.
Okay.
Anita?
Yes.
Sorry. I completely neglected the stats report.
Oh, boy.
Could I jump back in? and
Somebody
share
would have
that?
picked you up on that.
I did print a copy, so you all have it in front of you, and I'll share it on my screen now. And let's see if it will allow me to do this. Share screen. Share. Okay, there it is. While Nicole was talking, it reminded me that we have surpassed our highest number of event sign-ins
Yeah, I guess
in
so.
2 years. So last
Wow.
month in March, we had 1,089 sign-ins, which
That's crazy.
is incredible. Yes, the
Yeah.
last highest for this fiscal year was 836 sign-ins.
Wow.
So I just thought I really needed to point that out. March was an outstanding month. Thank you, Nicole, for all your hard work and planning everything. Also, huge month for outreach. Over 60 outreach, pretty much doubled from last month, as well as under 60 outreach. Under 60 previously was 83, now it's 151 for the month of March, and that was contacts with individuals. And transportation is back up, and it was at 216, our highest for this fiscal year so far. 216 rides in the month of March.
Wow.
So we are jumping back up. We're
I
getting-
have a question for outreach about the increase. Are you seeing people coming in because the rents are going up and Section 8 is not covering the increase?
Rents definitely, but I could let Amy and Alicia speak to that
Okay.
at the outreach section here. Outreach report. But yes, definitely, I've had people come in looking for Amy and Alicia because their rent went up 40%, 50%
Yeah.
over last year. Yeah. Or even last month, I mean.
All right, so we'll do the outreach reports. Oh, I saw that, Amy. I saw that.
guys.
Hi there.
All right, so just a couple of things that we wanted to touch on first is the whole Mass Health renewal, which is going to be a 12-year process because of the pandemic, or not the pandemic, the emergency assistance, not assistance, the emergency period there got ended. And so they are sending out renewals to over 2.3 million members.
Wow.
And the good thing is actually the 65 and over crowd can actually complete this over the phone, which is, I think, is new, and online as well. We're able to help people online as well, and then on paper. So we just want to remind everybody that you can come in and kind of get some help with your renewal if you need that. We're expecting many calls about that. And then there has been some changes in the buy-in Medicare savings programs, the income and asset tests. They have gone up, so we're really excited about that, hoping that some more people can become members of some of those savings programs. Fuel assistance, so the deadline for applications for fuel assistance is April 30th. So we're getting in the last couple of people we can help. Currently, we did just get an update, and they are putting in January applications. So they are very behind. I mean, it's a long process, so we just keep having to remind people that you may hear, we haven't gotten to your application yet, and that's from like January on. But they are working towards getting everybody in and getting approvals. And then the last thing is just the Dementia Friends. We've been hearing a lot about the Dementia Friend training. And then if people are interested in becoming Dementia Friends and begin going through the training, they can contact our office to get more information.
I asked the question about Section 8 because I'm working with a client from St. Vincent right now, and her rent went up, and in Section 8 said, well, we're not going up and we're not going to cover it. So she's in a bind. So I wondered if you were hearing a lot about that.
Yes, I'll let Amy talk about that.
So I can't really speak to that to a great extent because I'm not a member of HUD or DHCD, so their
You're not a member of
guideline-
what?
HUD or
HUD.
DHDC, the people that fund, the organizations that fund those programs at the federal level, state level. So they have their own guidelines that they follow
Oh, okay.
for determining what they will pay, what they won't pay. It goes usually based on the unit, like the amount of bedrooms in the unit, and they take a look at the person's income, and that's how they determine, you know, they have many other factors that go into this. It's a
Right.
very long
Yeah.
process. So to speak to that in particular person that you're referring to, which I think I know who they are, that's the first time that I've heard that
Oh, okay.
Section 8 isn't
All
going to
right.
cover the increase.
I was just curious if that's a new thing and that you guys are going to be real busy with more and more people looking for rent.
Right. And people that are on those programs where they're receiving a voucher from another organization are not eligible for our LRAP program. So it does put them in a
Oh, they can't be in the LRAP. Oh,
No,
okay.
Because they're receiving state subsidies. It
All
would
right.
impact their eligibility for the program. So, but there's different ways you can go about, the best way to put this. There are certain deductions that you can claim when you're completing your annual review with HUD or DHCD or one of those state federally funded sites. So high income expense or high medical expenses, and other types of out-of-pocket costs that really kind of take up a majority of your income are very important to report when you're doing that process. So it's not, let me just get this done and quick over with and submit it. You want to take the time to look through and see what you can actually put down on that application that might help you with those out-of-pocket expenses that you experience. So it's important to just make sure that you're doing that on all of those government-based programs. So SNAP and housing are the two main ones. So,
Okay.
but
Thank you.
that speaks to that.
Nicole, how many people in LRAP right now?
16.
And is the cap 18? So that's a rental assistance program that we have
So there's 2 applications available.
2 slots left.
Well, yeah, they've kind of gone away from having a cap on a number amount. They said that we have plenty of money to continue accepting as long as they're approved by the trust. So even if we reach 18, I'll still present them to the trust to see if it will fit within the budget.
And now I think we're ready for an update from you on the senior project.
We need to vote to
Well-
accept the.
Oh, yes. See, I'm not good chairman at this. Could I have a motion?
I'd like to make a motion to accept all the director's report and assistant director's report and
Ouch.
the outreach report.
I'll second that.
Any more discussion? Okay, I'll take a vote. Marilyn,
Yes.
Jean, Hanley,
Yes.
David,
Yes.
Joe,
Yes.
Lorelei,
Yes.
and Anita's yes. So that's everybody. Okay, we'll let you go again.
Sure thing. So for the senior center building project, I just have a small update for this month. The project continues to move along, and Commodore Builders is meeting regularly with LLB Architects on the project. Thankfully, we have an excellent owner's project manager in Brian Fors at the Vertex Company. He is really moving this project forward for us. Right now, we are still on track to break ground in August. We're still saying it's going to be taking about 18 months to complete building. Design-wise, we're still tweaking some things to do a little value engineering and bring down the cost of the molding and the millwork throughout the building. And one of those changes involved moving the elevator to the opposite side of the room. I don't have photos of it yet or renderings, but I will bring them as soon as I have them. But moving that elevator allows us to actually have room for a little medical office or wellness office now. So that one change actually helped us out a lot, freed up a little space, and when I have those renderings, I'll bring them in.
Very good.
That's my update.
So it's nice to hear that it continues to go on, and we're not having any stumbling blocks.
Nope,
So
going forward.
that's all good, all good.
Oh, and I almost forgot to mention again, that Littleton Electric Light and Water Department has generously agreed to waive the fees for our transformer. So that is one thing that gets to be cut from our costs.
Wow,
And that's a very expensive, they were talking about the price of it the other night.
Yes,
wow,
huge help.
very good. Anywhere we can get it, we'll take it. And we're good that you're right on top of it too, Liz. Do we have any member updates?
I can't think of anything.
No? The Transportation Committee hasn't met or anything?
Oh, yes, we met, but we couldn't meet because we didn't have a quorum.
Oh, okay.
We talked, but we couldn't have a meeting.
Okay. Is there any public input?
Not online?
Anyone in the audience that would like to speak? Any questions from us, for us, anything? Okay. Then I would ask David to make a motion to adjourn.
Okay, no, okay, make a motion, we adjourn.
Second it.
Second.
All those in favor? Marilyn?
Yes.
Jean?
Yes.
Ann Lee?
Yes. Yes.
David?
Yes.
Joe?
Yes.
Lorelei?
Yes.
And Anita, yes.